Yo, what is up? It is your boy Stephlyon, and guys, engineering, the one thing that is actually going to mess up my Star Citizen experience, and I have to find a way past it, because you guys already know. I be flying ships that are meant for like a whole party of like 6 on my own, and engineering is going to bring a stop to that. So let's see what engineering actually has to bring, where it's at. I'm not there yet because I'm a brokey, so I don't get to test it out yet. But let's watch Board Gamer's video and react to it with all the information we currently have right now on engineering.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with an engineering tech preview. Finally, this is going to be one of the most influential features in Star Citizen and covers multi-crew gameplay, damage control. There is a ton of stuff here. Engineering had a limited test in April 2024, Alpha 3.23 in Arena Commander.
It actually already had a test.
That's the last time I remember playing with engineering.
I thought this was the first one. What the hell?
CIG have put out a tech preview build for Evocati for engineering. This means as well that we can talk about what we've been playing, but we can't show it. We can't show any footage from it. This initial...
See, if you're like me and we're outside of the crowd, we got to get our bread up, guys. 2026, we get our bread up. I don't know. We got to get our bread up. We can't be brokies anymore, guys.
Round of testing will probably be over by the time you see this video. We don't know if there are any plans for updates when this is going to come back, if it's going to open up to more waves. I'll keep you updated though. Let's jump into what CIG said, what was tested, and give a bit more context.
Stealing NPC
this playtest will focus mostly on engineering in the persistent universe and currently functions on around 70 ships. I'll put a list up on screen of the ships that are confirmed to be either working or
C1,
partially implemented, fully implemented. What I will say is that there is no Idris in this list, but it does include vehicles, small ships.
C1 is there, so damn, so you're going to make it impossible to fly the C1 solo as well?
Ships, all the way up to Corvette size things like the Polaris. So there are big things ready for engineering, but not the Idris yet. Let's jump into the patch notes and give a little more context to what's broken, not working, and what's included. So engineering screens and terminals. These are on a large range of ships, mostly with any form of interior, and they give you a room overview. You can also see components and states on your mini maps as well now. You'll have a level of power management with these.
Oh, so when you're in a ship and use your map that I never use, by the way, you see where somewhere might be like red or whatever and tell you what percentage it's at. Okay.
You can create presets, which I believe are saved between sessions, and eventually you'll be able to put these on other ships. You're literally able to go, I've done a preset, chuck it on this ship.
I need a preset.
You can turn on and off components.
Changing your power levels is annoying.
And this is like weapons, thrusters, individual components like shields and power plants. You've got a log and notifications for failure, so engineering events are shown when components go offline. A lot of the time, the things we're going to be talking about don't work consistently, like the engineering screens just don't turn on properly or fail to actually update. Obviously, that's bugs that CIG should solve. There is a new MFD diagnostic screen, so if you're sitting in the pilot seat or a co-pilot seat or whatever, this will give you similar functionality, or at least to a degree, that the engineering screens give you. So you have an overview of all components.
Okay, I was thinking they're gonna make you, if you want to do anything involved with engineering, you have to leave the freaking cockpit and go to the engineering screen. But at least you have a version of it on the pilot seat.
Okay. You also have a one-time repair button for single-seater ships, basically going, let's repair my components to 20% health if they're broken. This is going to be temporary.
Wait, what? So if your ship gets killed in battle, you can repair yourself to 20%. Well, I guess that allows you as a player who's just stranded to fly back. Because there's a lot of times where my ship is like soft-deaded and it's not fully dead and it's actually in pretty good condition. It's just one of the major components got blasted. So you're telling me I can repair myself and get back to safety? That's actually vibes.
Obviously, but I think it's so that you can test repairing and that sort of level of functionality on ships that don't necessarily have an interior or...
I think they should do that for all ships. Maybe not the what are they called? The sub-capitals and the capital ships, but all these smaller ships to an extent, because 20%, even if it's 10%, just to let people get back. I don't know, make a compartment where we can put some RMC and some repair materials in our ships, maybe like 1/8 of an SCU or something of each, and then that way they can repair themselves to 10% and get out of conflict. So if someone doesn't fully death you, because it's in my opinion, that would help more or less in PvE situations, because sometimes the PvE NPCs don't fully destroy your ship, right? If they don't do that, you can just fix yourself and get out of there. But like on PvP situations, you're gonna fully kill your ship. There's nothing you can do about it. If there's a cooldown on it, like maybe 40 seconds or a minute for it to actually repair your ship, even in PvP situations, if someone soft dats you, they have time to actually get out of their ship, go into your ship, get rid of you, and then start looting you. So it doesn't have to be a thing of, oh, someone can just instantly press that button and disappear. No, they still have a time that they have to wait for the ship to repair themselves, you know?
Because you're testing something or whatever, right? Because the tech preview builds often are for focus testing as well. Also gives you critical state and health overview of all components. You can turn
Why was
stuff
bro
on and
crawling
off
just
as
to kneel down?
Components, weapons and thrusters, all that sort of jazz. You also have power management that you've always had. I'm really happy that they've given us those MFDs as well, because a lot of ships, as I said, don't have engineering consoles.
Romulus.
Or you might be in a position where you are piloting and there's a lot of stuff going on and you need quick access to an engineering function. You're telling the engineer where to go because something's broken and it's critical. Heat management is in as well. So items that are powered will produce heat that then needs countering with coolers or external means.
The coolants
overheated components will show off
now.
to cool down again after a while. I'm not actually sure at what level they start to shut down, but fire extinguishers will cool things down as well. So you can take a fire extinguisher and fire it at an overheating component, and it will
This is
cool
going to
that
make
down.
soloing
There's
so
life
hard.
support management as well. So life support will make atmosphere and temperatures livable, breathable on your ship. At the moment, this is not affected by players consuming oxygen. That will be added later. It is, however, affected by fire, which will consume oxygen and raise
What if you turn off your life support and you just wear some good ass armor? What about that?
temperatures. You can vent the ship, which will also affect the fire and atmosphere aboard. Now, I've not actually tested that specifically, so I don't know if that's functional at the moment, but it's supposed to be. And talking about fires on ships, they can spread. Fire can be triggered through overheated components. Fires can also get triggered through
damn.
damaging of components, so you shoot them or they get hit or whatever. As I said, fire is supposed to be able to be extinguished by fire extinguishers, but also venting of the room, so it consumes all the oxygen in a room or whatever, and it will go.
So you have to vent. You have to like open doors and things to vent everything into space. Oof. If they added like a definitive amount of oxygen in your ship, that would be cooked.
Oh, no, I'm done. Right now, temperature needs to be brought down to prevent reignition. And as I said earlier, fire extinguishers can lower temps, but I believe you can also refill them by putting them back in their docks on the wall.
Oh, they
That
get
was the
refilled, okay.
Life support systems. Citation needed there again because I've not tested that. There's been some changes to relays and fuses as well. So relay function has changed and is not in properly yet. I believe it will be in a build soon. The next one, question mark. The goal is to have fully intact relays allow for full power throughput. That means that each fuse that gets destroyed will reduce the total power available in a ship. Also
That's
means
bull. Nah, stop it. No. Bro, come on. We're in the future. We're in the future flying spaceships. You tell me that we can't reroute all the power to one of the fuses before and it doesn't blow up? Come on, gang. Oh my god, bro. With less power? So if they destroy one literally measly fuse, I have less power. Okay, yeah, guys. I don't know how I feel about that. No. It's already going to be a struggle trying to do this like solo. It's going to be a struggle, but now we have to worry about the fuses. That means we have to have like 20 fuses just stored in the... Fuses have been like arch nemesis. Since I went to my first contested zones, fuses have been an arch nemesis, bro.
that relays are no longer the hard weak point anymore, where if you lost all the fuses in a particular area, that would render your ship or part of it dead. But it does mean you'll have to make concessions and power will be less effective getting to areas. Now, I didn't like the sound of that to start with, but considering you can individually destroy components or damage them, and eventually we're going to have the Maelstrom physical damage system that will have breakability and stuff like that, CIG have probably made a good decision here, because you don't want damage control to be overly fiddly. You want it to be active, and you want someone to go around repairing stuff, but you don't want power to go down on most of your ship because a single fuse blew. There was a single point of failure.
Bull.
Where's the redundancy there? Or because someone's come aboard your ship and just taken out
Taken
three
out fuses,
fuses and
exactly.
goes, there's no power to all your weapons. Also with repairing now, the repair gun now repairs components and uses a small amount of RMC to do that. The larger and more damaged the component is, the longer it takes to repair, and the more IMC.
Okay, so we can actually use the repair gun. That's good, because the repair gun, I've had it and I don't know how to use it well. I've used it to kind of patch a little like piece of my hull before, so let me not lie.
Consumes. There's been a full rebalancing of components, and this includes updating health and damage resistances and a new heat generation system. I've not seen how they actually interact with coolers with the new system. More that I can't quantify it in any way that I can convey that to you. I need to understand it a bit better. Beyond coolers cool. Components and a slightly more physical damage system. So obviously you have more physicalized components now. Ship weapons will penetrate the hull and damage the component that it hits that's underneath that area. Updated weapon balancing has been made.
I already thought that was a thing, because sometimes like you lose some components and things while you're fighting, and it's like, how did that happen? I have a bubble shield or whatever. So I already thought that was an actual thing in the game.
Well, to account for penetration and the new damage system. Ship armor updates are not in yet, so bear that in mind. They did not make it in time, but we might get that in a build soon if CIG continue to put builds out for this. Component death will result in components not being functional, but it can still be repaired. It might not be able to be repaired up to its maximum health, and you might need to go to a station or replace the component eventually. Power plants can go into a critical state, which can make the ship explode.
Oof.
And at
What?
the moment, this cannot be countered because it's not in properly yet.
So if they destroy my power plant, my ship will explode. No, because this is going to make freaking distortion weapons so freaking viable. Distortion weapons are about to be hella viable.
You will eventually be able to counter it by repairing the item or removing it and chucking it out the airlock or whatever. But currently, you
Is there a
cannot.
timer
So
on
bear
it?
that in mind. There's more to come with this, and there are a load of bugs and stuff. So the known issues that CIG list for this at the moment are avoid salvage ships for this test because their components are having issues in the build. There's lots of client crashes in Arena Commander. There's a white flash that appears when ending a quantum jump. ArcCorp is missing
white
its
flash.
texture assets. There's a load of bugs and things broken beyond that as well, like MFDs, engineering screens not working sometimes.
See, that's the one thing I don't get. Like, when CIG is doing tests and things, you can't really do a test if a lot of the functionalities of the test isn't working. Like, if the base isn't working, like the base of the game and the base of the test module isn't working, what test are you doing? Oh, don't test salvaging ships. That's kind of like counterproductive. Like, wouldn't you want to test? Like, before you put it out, wouldn't you want to get things to a state where it's like, this is testable? You can test almost everything or whatever. Not just, oh, don't test any of these things at all because, yeah, it's going to get you cooked. Oh, don't go to this place or don't do this because, yeah, you're going to get white flashing screens and you're going to crash. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. You want to give people a good ground, a good foundation to test on. So I'd like to see them do better in that because it's a repetitive thing I keep hearing. Oh, they went to the PTU or first subscribers only and nothing is working, you know? Like, I don't like that.
Nav mode was locking a ship to only go forward. The build's a little unstable as well. People may be having issues with video memory too. But I'm really happy that they're testing engineering. Maelstrom, I want to say as well, is super important. This is like the ship destruction, ship breakability system.
That
engineering allows CIG to start
in-game.
finalising a load of stuff for flight and balance and combat, or at least get it into a much better state without so many placeholders. But Maelstrom, which was coming a bit later, will allow for a better armor system than the
They're
temporary
lying to you. Maelstrom is already here on the smaller ships. Do you know the amount of ships I blow up and they just crumble and I'm like, what the hell? It's already here.
Of engineering here, and we'll add a load more nuance to ship combat. You can expect more updates to this, hopefully in the very near future. I'm hoping they continue to update this over the next few weeks and give us more and more things to test. But it's possible they take it back to the drawing board. I hope not. But we've got bug fixes that are going to be coming. There's more ships that are going to be added. Things like power plants being able to be dealt with rather than when they go critical, that's it. There's going to be a temporary armor system. There's going to be life support, actually supporting players consuming oxygen, and much more coming.
I guess we're gonna have like more multi-crew gameplay stuff when the tactical battles come in with Nyx. That's gonna be pretty much like just based on multi-crew gameplay, multiple ship gameplay, which I'm really looking forward to because then that broadens the horizon of the game and it makes multi-crew gameplay, multi-ship gameplay viable. Right now, none of that's viable because there's not really any missions where you need that many people. Yes, you can do it to make it easier or to have fun with people if you like being social, but if not, you don't really need that many people to do things. So I think that's going to be a thing, but it's going to nuke solo gameplay a little bit. Let me not say nuke. Let me say it's going to make you realize that you now have to use certain ships because you play alone. It's going to make the possibilities you have a little bit smaller, so they will need to extend on things that do accommodate for this in terms of solo gameplay, because you can't just say, oh well, you can't have a big ship now because you're a solo player, so you can't use it. You might as well go just sit down and just use the small ships. They have to give us some sort of alternative to these kind of things and the things you want to do with a big ship, which I think they will over time. So for now, we might have to suffer a little bit, but that's okay, as long as they do plan to give us more things to do. But like, goddamn, you already know I'm gonna still attempt it. If your ship gets blown up while you're out there, you're gonna have to get out of your cockpit. You're gonna have to go find where it's broken and you gotta fix it. That's gonna be a problem solo, but I'm gonna try it anyway. But yeah, I am excited for this. It's a good thing. The game needs to develop. The game needs to get better. We need to get things that are going to make the game feel more social. Right now, the game feels kind of anti-social because there's not a lot of things you need other people for, in my opinion. And I'm a quote unquote hardcore gamer who does everything the hard way or whatever. And I feel like there's a lot of things I can accomplish that's like, I shouldn't be able to accomplish this on my own. So I want to see them do things. And if they just keep getting better and they need to make the freaking test versions and the test areas and the test builds better. They need to make them more stable so people can actually test them. I hate hearing all these new, really, really interesting, huge things and they don't work. They can't be tested fully. And this is why we have problems when we come to the live builds, is because they are not giving people a stable ground and they say, oh, this is ready for the live build now. Well, no one tested it. We don't know if it's gonna work. We don't know if it's gonna break, and we end up having a freaking broken like live build. So I do want to do better there. But apart from that, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like if they can get all of this done and tested now, and get Nix out, I think next month, and then we go into 2026 with more and more things being tested and more things being implemented. It's looking really good. 2026 is going to be interesting anyway. Like, I do think next year is going to be just crazy for Star Citizen. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, y'all, if you like this reaction, this was a board gamer video I reacted to. So if you liked it was presented to you and the way he put it out to you, for me, just go give him a like and subscribe over there. If you like my opinions and my thoughts, make sure to like and subscribe over here as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.